Hey, what's up, guys? So I'm just doing this video outside, but basically, this video is going to be about Salesforce sales. Now, why am I doing this? Normally, I do something on Marketing Cloud. Well, I kind of want to change it up. I want to give you guys advice, from somebody who's done sales. I've done sales for about 2 to 3 years in my career, and I think having a platform where seeing sales guys succeed is something that I'm definitely interested in as well, right? So I found this on Salesforce.com. They actually have a Salesforce sales trailhead that you can do. It's a little bit of reading, but nothing crazy. So this one is the 7 skills that can be taught, the 7 sales skills that can be taught. So let's get into it. It's by Dan Ross, commercial sales. Sorry, there's an airplane flying overhead, so sorry about the noise. But okay, so the first step is number 1 is pipe generation. It says the easiest way to generate pipeline is to start with an existing pipeline. Sales reps can be taught to be curious and always ask if there is room to upsell or cross-sell beyond the initial solution being evaluated. Account reviews with existing customers can often identify additional business challenges customers didn't even know your product could solve. So when you're cross-selling and when you're selling something, you want to basically ask the customer, like, do you know anybody in your network that would take this product, right? That's cross-selling. Upselling is basically, upselling a product, like a price, or, giving them something in return first, and they give something to you. So you can also generate pipeline by going back to dead opportunities, prospects who said no to us in the past because we had the wrong product, wrong pitch, spoke with the wrong person, or had the wrong timing, presenting them with reasons why it's time to reconsider. So this is very true, right? So you can go and you can go back to the customer with a new, fresh pitch or something like that. Because there's a and I've talked about it in one of my videos where there's a process to sales. There's traffic, leads, conversion, sales, repeat business. So when you have that conversion, when you have that, because every sales organization has a sales cycle, right? They have a sales cycle that includes prospecting, that includes all the things in that sales cycle that are very, very important. So number 2, time management. We train our reps to put time on their calendar to get organized. Spend 15 minutes a day planning what you would do tomorrow. Focus on revenue generating activities, but don't tip the scale too far towards your quota. You can't afford to neglect accounts. You never know which account could be your next big deal. You also can't neglect your own development. Make time for training, mentorship, and practice. So you have to make times for those things. You have to make time for practice. Like, if you're not practicing your pitch has to be picture perfect. And you don't need to sound like a robot. You need to sound authentic, but you need to have product knowledge. You need to practice your pitch like crazy. I don't know if you've ever seen the video Glenn Ross, with those guys. They had to memorize their acting lines and a sales pitch. So all these things are very, very important to understand. Coffee's for closers, and if you're not closing, you're going to get fired, right? Period. That's just the way sales is, right? If you're not learnable, if you're not coachable, if you're not doing the things that your account manager wants you to do, you're going to get fired, right? So you don't want that. Number 3, business acumen. Business acumen is a term that gets used in many ways. I love when sales professionals have their business acumen needed to understand all lines of business within their customer's organization, understand the biggest challenges and priorities, and speak executive language. So when you have a business acumen, you know how to speak to a business, because in software sales, that's what you're doing. You're speaking to businesses about software. Specifically for Salesforce, you're going to be talking about the CRM software. So you have to understand and know that the business acumen is very, very important. Sales acumen. Sales is a process. To be great, you need to master each step. Otherwise, your efforts will not lead to results. The step of our process typically begins with prospecting, followed by discovery to better understand the prospect's needs. This serves as proof that you can solve their challenges, negotiations, and implementation. So when you implement something and you have a sales process, you need to understand that with that sales process comes you learning each step of that process. And when you learn each step of that process, you'll understand that the biggest thing is knowing that you can't skip any step in that process. So that's very, very important. Number 5 is big deals. Larger, more complex sales cycles require additional sales skills that go beyond general sales acumen. These evaluations require more creativity and organizations. There will be far more people involved, so you will need to triangulate your relationship with your account and maintain multiple relationships, gathering feedback and uncovering objections along the way. You have to close the big deals. You have to be the one that closes the big deals. You have to be the one that actually goes out there and says, hey, like, I want to close this deal. I need to do whatever it takes to close this deal. Not in a peer pressure kind of way, but it's empathy. Empathy is the number one quality in a salesperson that I learned today. Like, you need to empathize with the customer. If they can't afford to empathize with them, if they can't, say, I understand, what options do we have, right? So those are different things that you can do. Let me see. Product knowledge is what I talked about before. If you play a musical instrument, you might appreciate how hard it is to write a song that includes chords you can't play. If you do not understand the value of each of your products, it is very difficult to sell the value of the product, and you will definitely miss out on opportunities within your territory. Know the value proposition, the competitors' common objections, and ideally how to get your hands on a solution to do your own demos. So you have to know the objections. Grant Cardone says you can predict what the customer is going to say. In Sell or Be Sold, he said that you can predict what the customer is going to say. If you do not have prediction, it's kind of like basketball, right? Like, I can predict. I know when a shot is going to go in, and I know when a shot is not going to go in, right? If you cannot predict in your sales cycle, that's how good you have to become. You have to be good at, you already know what the customer is going to say, so you have something to say. You have to think on your feet. That's what sales is all about, right? Sales is not for the faint of heart. I've heard plenty of times when I was in my sales career, people would say, I don't like sales. I don't do sales because you're not good at it, period, right? Stop saying it. We don't need to hear it as salespeople. Sorry, got on a tangent. But hey, look, if you're a salesperson, I just want to say thank you, because you are the grunts of the organization. You are the people that is actually out there doing what's necessary to keep that organization going, period. So finally, number 7 is forecasting. Forecasting is all about making smart decisions for your business. Based on the pipeline you can see and the pipeline you can source, are you on track for your goals? If not, what do you need to do differently? And this is the final part of the article. The best sales professional knows how to use their forecast to prioritize their time, ask for help where needed. When you walk away from a deal, they use CRM to keep their pipeline in real time all the time. So the data gives consistent information for others in the organization to allow it to make smarter decisions. So sales is one of those things where it's like, you have to be good at talking. You have to be good at talking with the customer, being on your feet, all this other. Don't worry about the naysayers and the people that say, oh, sales is not for me. You're not good at sales. I've convinced myself, I've literally programmed myself that I'm the greatest salesman in the world. Nobody is better than me at sales. Now, is that true? Not necessarily. But at the same time, I've convinced myself that I'm the greatest salesman in the world, right? Everything is sales. Everything is sales. It does not matter. You are on a commission, whatever job that you are doing. And so everything is sales. Grant Cardone talks about in Sell or Be Sold that everything is sales. So if I would highly recommend that book. It's a little red book. It won't take you that long to read it. But it's actually kind of long. But hey, guys, that's all that I really have, and all these sales skills that you can use: persuasion, negotiation, all these different things you can learn. You can learn how to be a good salesperson. You can learn how to be that person that's making these crazy deals and making a lot of money, right? You can make a lot of money in sales, right? You just have to get good at talking to people and getting to know their story, right? Once you get to know their story and where they're coming from, you're just not trying to close you're not trying to skip the sales process, because every company has a sales process, right? So if you're skipping your company's sales process and you know that process has worked, then it's going to be detrimental to your success in that company. It's all about cash flow. It's all about making money. It's all about, that's the American dream. That's what we're all here for, right? So Salesforce is just another conduit in that, right? So, all these sales skills can be learned, Right. Maybe what I'll do is I'll buy Sell or Be Sold again, and I'll do a review of that book for you guys, because I feel like that book is important. Maybe I'll do a review of all of Grant Cardone's books because the dude knows how to sell. So, all right, guys, that's all that I have for this video. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you think, and Sell or Be Sold. That's it. Take care. Done.